It is Monday, October 7th. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of Prime Flash, the first for the week. We are sorry for the late start. Cooking gas scarcity in Cameroon is rocking big cities including Douala, Bafoussam, Bamenda and Buea, just to name but these. A bottle of gas, which usually costs 6,500 francs CFA, is now sold at 15,000 francs in Bamenda and 10,000 francs in Bafoussam. The exorbitant hikes in the price of cooking gas has left many citizens lamenting and seeking other solutions like charcoal, which is relatively more expensive, while others fear that the hikes in the price of cooking gas may also lead to that of charcoal. However, some Cameroonians think the scarcity or shortage is artificial as retailers continue to sell while gas stations don't. Meanwhile, some gas distributors say the shortage is real and affects all business persons as the Douala seaport is yet to receive a consignment. On to this human interest story, a 71-year-old man in Douala has been accused of raping or sodomizing a 9-year-old boy. The alleged rapist, called Zencho Josue, aka Per White, carried out the act in the Bilonge neighborhood in Douala. Reports say the boy explained how the man called him into his room and then asked him to undress, then carried out the satanic act. Following medical checkup, doctors revealed that the boy suffered from a medical emergency involving obstruction of the intestine caused by the abuse, a condition that could be fatal if not well treated. It is worth highlighting that the boy is reportedly not the only victim of these pedophile. A little girl in the same neighborhood is said to have gone through the same abuse by Per White. Over in Bamenda, Mob Justice last Friday reportedly left 2 armed robbers dead after being lynched by the population in Mile 4 Nkwen Bamenda 3 subdivision. The 2 victims were apprehended on the night of Friday, October 14, 2022 at about 9 p.m. for attempting to steal a taxi in the restive region. Reports say the 2 armed men they were armed with M21 rifle and attempted robbing a taxi driver of his vehicle before being lynched. The weapons were taken by security forces in Bamenda, who arrived at the scene later on after being alerted by the population. Let's stay in the northwest region, where funds of Menchum, a subdivision of that part of the country, have united themselves to denounce perpetrators of violence and as a union preach peace and development. Let's get more in this report, which has Kebwa.
The funds of Menchum Valley Subdivision in Menchum Division of the Northwest meeting for the first time as a union, October 15, 2022 at the subdivisional headquarters, Benakuma, to preach peace, given peace is priceless and cannot be bought.
You know, we are in a very tempting period in the history of this country now. So with the challenges, peace challenges that we have, we decided to summon ourselves, come together and see how peace can return to our support.
With the commitment to work for peace, denounce perpetrators of violence, speak as one voice, preach peace and development in their various villages and Menchum Valley Subdivision.
Even the same people who find it difficult to embrace peace today can testify that they badly need the peace. It is true that they have problems or, revendications, but I think to get to the table for peace to return before somebody can listen to your revendications. So it is just but necessary that we come back to the drawing table and see how to embrace peace.
The funds of Menchum Valley Subdivision in a release took firm resolution for peace and to preach peace to their subject and elites, move the subdivision ahead.
To call our elites no far distance, talk with our elites, to counsel, we talk to them what we have taken as resolutions, so that together we'll make sure when our elites talk and the funds talk one voice, then the rest of the populace will follow.
As a move and the need for peace and development in the Mentum Valley subdivision, a 5-man steering committee was put in place to pilot the affairs of the union, work for peace and see peace return in their various villages, Mentum Valley subdivision and Mentum.
Cameroon joined the world to commemorate the 27th edition of the International Rural Women's Day on October 15, 2022. The day was observed under the theme Rural Women, Key for a World Free from Hunger and Poverty. Get more in this report. As the world commemorates the 27th edition of the International Rural Women's Day on Saturday, 15 October, Cameroon observed the day within the context of the theme of the 2022 edition, where the rural woman is rather faced with tough times to alleviate hunger and poverty due to the economic crisis rocking the country.
Le marché est dur. On ne vend même pas.
Business is just so tough. We can't even sell anything. We don't even see anyone in the market anymore. The market is totally dry. Look at these food stuff. Nothing has been bought since morning.
Depuis la matinée.
Some food items like tomatoes has now become excessively expensive on the market, especially in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Women are crying that there is no money. So, to sell up to 10,000 francs is not easy at all. When you present goods to someone for 10,000 francs, it's like you're talking of 1 million francs CFA. So they just run away. However, fruits are not left out of price hikes, as it seems the soil was not very productive to Cameroonians in 2022. This year, we do not have much production of mandarin and oranges too, because the dry season was too harsh. So when there is much dryness and less rain, the production of fruits drops. So this year, we do not have much mandarin due to too much sun. Also, palm oil is not left out, as it has now become so costly, with traders beckoning on the government to do something quickly.
L'huile que nous produisons est de plus en plus chère.
This is oil which we produce ourselves. It has now become so expensive. Palm oil is produced in Sangmelima, Ebolowa, Betwa, Bafia, and everywhere in Cameroon. So I can't understand why the price of palm oil keeps rising. Mothers are crying. Mothers are fed up. Oil produced in Cameroon, why is it so expensive?
L'huile du Cameroun, pourquoi c'est si cher?
The theme of the 27th edition of the World Rural Women's Day is Rural Women, Key for a World Free from Hunger and Poverty, matching up to what President Paul Biya said in 2011 during the agro-pastoral show in Ebolowa. But the contrary is real.
Yes, sir.
The Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reforms has dismissed over 900 new public officials from the workforce for continuous absenteeism. The information was disclosed in a press release on October 13, 2022, as we hear from Cynthia Azani.
Ministry of Public Service and Administrative Reform has dismissed over 900 government workers for constant absenteeism. There are a total of 915 public officials, that is 56 civil servants and 859 state agents covered by the Labour Code. The first are revoked and the second dismissed. From now on, they are no longer part of the workforce of the state and civil service. According to information disclosed in a release, Minister Joseph Lee indicated that the sanction is in line with the high directives of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, in Decree number 94/199 of October 7, 1999, as amended and supplemented by Decree number 2000/287 of October 12, 2000. Reports say, despite numerous press releases and formal notices from the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform addressed to the respondents, only 601 staff out of 8,766 concerned complied to the summons of the disciplinary board, and over 177 defendants were rehabilitated through simple resumptions in pay and accompanied by warning, reprimanding, lowering of step, among others. The Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform noted that the sanction is aimed at combating chronic absenteeism of public officials. A total of 1,408 government workers have so far been removed from the workforce for similar reasons.
Elsewhere in the Southwest region, some councils in Mehmet Division have benefited from a good gesture offered by the Lois Foundation and awards. The Kumba 2 and 3 councils received trash cans from the foundation as a means to step up hygiene and sanitation in their respective municipalities. Let's now hear more from Tamfo Sidwan.
As part of measures to contribute to the cleaning of the city of Kumba, the Lois Foundation, Entertainment and Awards has donated trash cans to the various councils within the Green City. The donation came at the time when the councils are fighting to ensure a conducive environment free from deaths and epidemics.
So we have decided to donate this trash can to help to keep the community clean.
The Lois Foundation team believes it is part of their agenda to support a healthy environment.
And to also help the fight to keep our town clean, to keep every environment clean. So we are very happy and also thank the CEO, Dr. Lois, for our kind gesture to see that everything goes successfully.
During a symbolic reception at the Kumba 3 Council, Mayor Dr. Mukwele Aizinguba thanked the foundation and says the trash cans will facilitate the process to make his subdivision clean.
It's a timely gesture which will help us go a long way in achieving our mission of
In news out of the country, 8 organizations and the United Nations are calling for urgent famine relief for East Africa as the people of Somalia, Kenya and Ethiopia face their worst drought for 40 years. According to Oxfam, food shortages are likely to cause 1 death every 36 seconds until the end of the year, while the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization says help is needed now. Note that 4 successive seasons of poor rainfall have caused livestock to die and crops to fail, with rural populations in hard-to-reach areas of Somalia the hardest hit. However, high food prices caused by war in Ukraine have exacerbated the situation, while food instability is often linked up to an increase in gender-based violence. The alert coincides with the United Nations World Food Day. In Nigeria, a strike by university lecturers in the country, which shut down state universities for 8 months, was called off on Friday following a court ruling and the intervention of leading figures, including the Speaker of Parliament. According to union leaders, their demands over pay, welfare and crumbling facilities have not been addressed, but students are happy to be returning to the classrooms. The latest strike was second longest by the Academic Staff Union of University, and union members reiterated that their demands have still not been met. Ethiopia has ordered banks to deny foreign currency to businesses importing non-priority goods in an effort to shore up dwindling foreign reserves in one of Africa's major economies. Notes that the move effectively freezes the import of dozens of items, including cars and alcohol, as businesses must now register with banks to obtain the foreign currency needed to bring goods into the country. Elsewhere in Tunisia, thousands of Tunisians took to the streets of the capital, Tunis, on Saturday in protest against President Kais Saied, who the blame for severe economic crisis, including food shortages and soaring inflation. Led by the National Salvation Front, a coalition of opposition parties, demonstrators marched through the main streets of Tunis calling on President to step down. Many protesters were heard chanting that the president should go away, calling on the people to revolt against President Kais, the dictator. Note that basic products such as flour, sugar and coffee are in short supply, and crises such as COVID-19 and the Ukrainian war have increased the cost of imports of such, including cereals. Thank you very much for viewing. That does it for Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television today. I have been Sama Eileen for presentation. The news was produced by Modika, Elvis. Stay tuned to more amazing programs coming up on My Media Prime Television this day. Up next is the brief Lasha Kingsley and Bomotongina Gladys. Have a hello Monday.